Hello and welcome to another episode of Drinking with Disney. I am one of your co-hosts, Lucas Hempen, and along with me, as always, is my lovely wife, Molly Hempen,
so
your other
nice.
co-host.
It's almost been a year, but I'm not used to it.
Yeah, very, very close to a year. This is episode number 23 of Drinking with Disney. And tonight we
don't know what we watched.
Yeah, we watched the acid trip known as Alice in Wonderland.
That's like a thing though, right? Like people were like, the people that wrote this were on acid.
I think so, yeah.
Because
yeah,
we literally, like, I was like, oh, I love Alice in Wonderland. Let's watch that one. We were choosing between that one and another one, and I kind of wish we watched the other one.
Yeah, Lewis Carroll's the author. Maybe he's a known drug addict. Wouldn't surprise me.
Like, who knows? It's from 1951, so it's one of the old ones, and it does.
Yeah.
It starts off like as that storybook. It almost looks like a closing credit.
Yeah, it's very old-timey when it kind of starts off.
But
it doesn't get much better.
No, that's honestly the best part of it, because you can read it and follow along.
Yeah.
But we have had a couple of drinks during our movie, so I was drinking the Socialites this evening. I know you guys know I like the vodka sodies. I just bought this one because you can get it in like a multi-pack now.
Yeah.
So right now I'm rocking some blood orange. I'll be rocking a different flavor probably throughout.
And I was just drinking PBRs. Classic PBRs.
Out of his Royal City cup, though, because we do love Royal City Brewing.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
We have to always shout them out because they're like our favorite local brewery.
Yeah, but no craft brew for me tonight. Just some classic PBRs. So like when we watch these movies, we always like to play a drinking game along with that, and Molly will run down the rules for tonight's game.
So anytime they say curious, you drink. Anytime they say rabbit, which is going to be
a lot.
The most. I like to point out what you're going to drink to the most, and that would be the most for sure. Because the whole movie is actually based on her looking for the rabbit.
Chasing the white rabbit, yeah.
Anytime Alice changes size.
Mm-hmm. Also, like, a big one.
Yeah, that is a big one, too.
Yeah.
And anytime Alice thinks about home or about Dinah, which is her cat.
Yep.
For those of you that don't know.
Yeah, and like always, it's anytime a song starts is the last.
Were you trying to like move me along a little bit?
No. I'm just saying. I was just trying to say something.
I just always do the rules.
I know, but I always help you.
With rules?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I think I'm funny. Anyway. As I said, it's kind of like an old-timey movie when it starts off with the, like, opening credits, just listing everyone that's involved in the making of the movie.
Full credits at the beginning, yeah.
And then it starts off just some woman doing, like, a history lesson.
Yeah, it's like her teacher or tutor
mom. I don't know how school was done in the 50s, but you've got to also assume that Alice was kind of a rich priss, because she's in, like, she's here, like, you can see, like, this almost castle-looking place in the background.
Yep.
They're over a bridge, over a river. She's by a willow tree.
Yeah.
I wish all my schooling was like that.
Yeah.
By a willow tree?
Well, Alice is, like, the whole thing, we find out, is just her dream, and she's just sleeping through the whole lesson, pretty much, so.
No, I know, I'm
so
just
it's not
saying,
the most effective schooling system.
I didn't like school. Maybe I would have liked school by a willow tree.
Maybe.
Like, I feel like most people would.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's pretty... So, like, she's just kind of acting... Also kind of like a spoiled brat, if you ask me. Because, like, again, if someone took me out to a willow tree to do my history lesson, I'd, like, listen up instead of them making me go to school. I hated school.
I know you did, yeah.
I friggin' hated school. The only time I liked school is when I went back to school recently, and I actually knew what I was doing, like, because it was for my job. Most kids hate school. Alice needs to give this fucking lady who's giving her all these lessons, like, a break.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Like, wake up! I'm not sure if because she's in the tree at first.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole movie is just a mess. Like, there's no real, like, chronological order to the whole thing. It's all just like shit thrown together.
But yeah, she's in the tree when it starts off during the lesson, and then I'm like, maybe she fell and hit her head out of the tree. Yeah. But then, like, I feel like chick at the end would kind of be paying her more attention as opposed
Right.
to just
She'd be
trying to wake her up.
A little bit more concerned
Like,
about...
she'd probably wake up in a hospital.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But that was my first thought, because she just goes off and starts singing, and then she sees a rabbit with a watch.
Yeah.
And starts to follow him.
Starts to
So
follow
I was
it,
like,
yeah.
did she hit her head?
No, she probably just drifted off to sleep and started dreaming, and it was just like
Yeah, because
a
when
whole
she's
dream sequence,
when
right?
she is singing, she's like singing of a world of her own.
Yeah.
And describing a couple of things that happen throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Like the flowers talking to her and all
Yeah.
of this different stuff. But yeah, so everything is about to kind of come to life that she is singing about when she sees the rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
I just got confused. At the moment she saw the rabbit, I'm like, did she hit her head? Did she do
Right.
acid?
Right.
What's going on?
Yeah.
I don't know if she did acid, because I think she's about 10, 12.
Yeah. She's super young.
So I don't know.
Yeah. So then she follows the rabbit and then down the rabbit hole.
Down the rabbit
And-
hole is like a drug thing, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she must have
She must be tripping. And follows him and tries to get through the locked door, but it's too small for her, so she has to shrink, right?
Drink the juice.
Yeah, and that's the first time we see her change size, right?
And like, she has to drink to shrink, she has to eat to grow, she drowns in her tears. Kind of
Yep.
sounds like she has some sort of drug problem.
Yeah.
That's like the description of an unhealthy diet.
Yeah.
She drinks to shrink. Are you just on shakes and fucking steroids or whatever, drinking to shrink? I know steroids make you grow, but... And then she's like, when I eat food, I get so big.
Yeah, this whole thing's just fucked.
It's fucked. It's so fucked. We're about to talk about nonsense.
Yeah, no, the whole, it's like, what is it, like an hour and 15 minutes long? Mm-hmm. And
At least
the whole
it's a
thing
short.
is just it's just chaos.
At least
none of it
it's-
makes any fucking sense.
At least it's short, though. I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
the fact that it's a bit shorter, I don't know. I just don't know how it's such a classic movie.
No, I don't get it either. It just doesn't make any sense.
That was Penny. For those
Yeah.
of you who have not listened before, we have a dog, Penny, that's kind of boisterous sometimes.
Yeah, you might hear her barking from time to time. She's
not-
normally pretty quiet.
Yeah, she's normally quiet, but sometimes she pipes up, and
Yeah.
I think someone's at the garbage chute, so she might bark at them. But yeah, so I don't know. We're about to get into like this conniption of like every 5 seconds there's a new character,
Yeah, no, it's just...
and they never
Yeah.
really go into detail about what's going on at all.
No, and she just kind of stumbles from one area into the next, and we don't really know where she's going. And then all of a sudden the
what.
rabbit pops up. It's like, this rabbit must be the slowest fucking guy ever, because she'll go and sing a song with these people, and then somehow
She always kind of beats him two places.
somehow she's ahead of the rabbit, even though the rabbit ran ahead of her last time, right? It's just complete nonsense.
And the whole thing is, okay, so she gets in the door after she shrinks and cries herself into the door.
Yeah.
Which she's looking for the rabbit, and she's not even freaked out about the fact that she's shrunk and grown and shrunk again, and now she's
Right.
drowning in her own tears.
Yeah, and not really concerned about the fact that there's a talking rabbit, and
She just wants to know where he's going.
and a talking door. She's very she's not very startled and concerned with any of these things. She's just looking for the rabbit, which is kind of bizarre.
I mean, little kids are kind of in their own. Can you look up how old she's supposed to be? I usually do that, but kids are kind of in their own little world and don't really put logic behind things. So I guess that makes a little bit of sense. But
7 years old.
Alice is supposed to be, so that makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
She's also very articulate for a 7-year-old.
Oh yeah, she's very well spoken for somebody who's 7. Are you kidding? Yeah. Yeah.
So the first thing she runs into is the dodo bird,
Right. Yeah.
and literally sees him for a minute.
Yeah.
Like
a minute or two.
And
yeah,
I just
not very
feel
long.
like I think about watching this when I was younger, and I'm like, the dodo bird, like, I know who he is, but he's not even a big part of the movie.
No, not a big part.
No characters are a big part of this movie other than
No.
Alice.
Yeah. And the rabbit is in a lot of scenes, but, like, very sparingly and very just, like, running through, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the only other, like, main character, really.
Yeah, when we were watching this, I was like, shit, we gotta be getting close to the end. We haven't seen the Queen of Hearts yet. Like, I thought that whole part was quite a bit longer than it actually turned out being in the movie.
Yeah, it's just very, she runs into this person and she's like, okay, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah. And then after the dodo, the next people she runs into are Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Which, again,
I thought they were a much larger part of the movie. I thought they come back later on.
Well, just because so many people think about all the people, like, around our age that are Tweedledee, Tweedledum.
Yeah.
I feel
for, like, Halloween?
For Halloween.
Yeah.
I feel like the newer version of the movie that came out maybe when I was like 12, goes a little bit more in depth.
Maybe.
And I feel like I've seen it, and that's a little bit makes more sense. I literally texted my sister when we were watching this movie, and I was like, have you ever watched the original Alice in Wonderland as an adult? And she said, no, it's fucked.
Yeah, no, it's totally fucked.
Because my sister, she's my half-sister, so she's 13 years older than me, so, like, when I was really little watching it, she, like, kind of understood it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I absolutely have not watched that as an adult. And she has kids of her own. She's like, no, I'm not watching that.
So when we see Tweedledee and Tweedledum, they go off on this tangent telling the story of the walrus and the oysters and the carpenter and stuff. And it is just more nonsense. It's like nonsense on top of nonsense on top of nonsense.
Because it's Tweedledee and Tweedledum telling a story about another imaginary thing.
Yeah.
And it's literally just the carpenter and the walrus trying to eat oysters.
And it's like 8 minutes long. It's
That's like the longest characters that we run into.
Like the walrus and the carpenter have more screen time than the Queen of Hearts, who's like the big bad in the whole movie.
I think maybe around the same time.
Yeah, like very comparable though. Like considering that the Queen of Hearts is supposed to be like the big bad guy of the movie,
and that's who like chases her out of Wonderland.
Exactly, right? Yeah, you'd think that there would be more of like an overreaching character arc with her, but
not so much.
No.
So yeah, we go through this story. All the the whole time being is that Tweedledee and Tweedledum are the ones telling the story.
Yeah.
So they're actually in it for longer than we realize, but they're not in it when they're in it. It's like Inception.
Yeah.
God, Inception's in every movie.
But then they try to tell a second story, and Alice is like, when they were about to tell the second story, I was like, Jesus, like, we cannot do another one of those. And then Alice runs off, and I was like, thank fucking God.
Because what are they doing? I feel like they're just like trying to block her roadway a little bit.
I think so, yeah.
And she's like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And like, I was kind of the same. At one point during this movie, Lucas looked at me and was like, should we watch something else?
Yeah, I was ready to give up on this when it was just too sporadic and too all over the place.
Just makes no sense. I mean, I know we've said that like 4 times already, and we're only like a couple minutes into this, but it legitimately makes no sense. And that's what we said. We're about to film and record this. Yeah. And we just don't even know. I don't even know what I just watched. We don't know what we watched. We don't know how we feel. Yeah, well, I know how I feel. And that annoyed. It's crap, yeah. But I don't know what I really watched there. No, and it's so crazy that it was such a hit when when I was really little. I loved this movie. Yeah. So then when she gets away from Tweedledee and Tweedledum before they tell their second excruciatingly long story, she stumbles upon the rabbit's house. Or is it the rabbit's house? It must be because the carrots are planted out back. The carrots are planted out back, and like his mirror has rabbit ears on it and stuff. Okay, I didn't really notice that. So it's the rabbit's house, and Alice goes inside and eats a cookie from inside his house, and then she grows to be, and her like legs and arms are sticking out of the windows and doors of the house. This was another question I have. Like, why is there so many different things to make her grow and shrink? I know, yeah. I have no idea. Like, At the
No
beginning,
idea.
it makes sense because there's a potion and then there are candies that say "Eat me."
Yeah.
That makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
So then she
And a small doorway that she has to fit through, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but for the rest of her like size changes, it's just for the sake of it. I don't know.
And oh yeah, I'll get back to what I was just about to say. I just had a brain fart, but I'll get back to what I was about to say. But and she eats or drinks something. She eats a treat.
She eats a cookie and grows.
And
huge.
grows.
Yeah.
And then the dodo comes. And they say to smoke her out because they think she's a monster. Yeah. But the rabbit's also calling her Marianne, so he knows who she is, but he's calling her the wrong name.
Yeah.
And then when she grows, he doesn't realize that she's just eaten one of the things in his house.
Yeah. Yeah. and then they're about to smoke her out, and then a lizard with a ladder walks by.
A lizard with a ladder, and I forget what his name was, Phil or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And then the lizard with the ladder gets lost. In the same amount of time that he came.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, when the rabbit's like, oh, look, a lizard with a ladder, I literally threw my arms up in the air. I was like, what the hell?
That's at the point when Lucas was like, I think we should probably watch another movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I've already written no.
Yeah.
We have to watch it.
Oh,
at least it's done now.
Oh, yeah, thank God.
Because we're not going to go back to it.
No, so after... Yeah, so after the lizard gets like catapulted into oblivion and he's gone.
Because she like blows on him or something. Because he's trying to smoke her out.
He's trying to go down through the chimney and she sneezes or something.
Yeah.
And then he explodes out of the chimney.
The only time you ever see him.
The lizard? Oh yeah, the lizard's gone.
He's not like the dodo bird where it's very random in the beginning, but then he's at the rabbit's house and then he's at the end.
No, yeah.
That's the only... He died.
R.I.P. to lizard with a ladder.
He died.
Yeah.
Sad. We should have a funeral.
But then Alice gets the great idea, like, oh, maybe if I eat something else, I'll shrink. So she eats a carrot and then shrinks back to normal size.
Is it just like every other time is my question? Because why the carrot?
I had no idea.
That she literally pulls out of the rabbit's garden. It's not like a pre-made, it's not like one of the treats she gets or like
there's
things
no,
that say eat me.
Like there's no like ominousness to it, you know what I mean?
It's
just
like a
carrot
like, I
that's
think
growing.
I should eat this carrot and it'll shrink me.
Yeah, and it does. She's good. She's got good instincts.
I mean, I get this is all her dream.
Yeah.
But
yeah, once she shrinks, again, the rabbit just fucks off and starts running away, and she starts running after him again, and that's when she runs into the talking flowers.
The flowers, and this is, like I said, one of the things she sings about.
Yeah, and another thing that
flowers.
she's, strangely okay and just accepts when she sees, not like, holy shit, like,
She's
this is crazy.
also, when she eats the carrot, shrunk down more than she was before.
Right, she shrunk down to like 3 inches high.
Because she's the size of the grass, and she's like down with the flowers.
Mm-hmm.
The flowers, they sing this nice song, and then they start picking apart what she's wearing.
Yeah.
And they smell her hair, and they say her her petals and her stems are weird, and they call her a weed. And I'm like, these are bitchy girls in high school.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. And it's also, I thought it was also kind of weird how when the flowers were singing, like, half of the flowers were singing and, like, had, like, faces and, like, lips that moved to sing. And then half of the flowers were just, like, instruments, like, there was, like, trumpet flowers that were just trumpets.
That's just how they live their life,
I guess. Like, no, but it was just weird. Like, if flowers can fucking talk and sing, make them all sing. Come on.
It's Wonderland.
I know.
You wonder
about these things, yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and they ask her what kind of garden she comes from and all this kind of shit. It's like, come on. Just let her in your garden. Like, come on. It's fine.
They're a little bit, like, prejudiced, these flowers.
They are prejudiced. They don't want any weeds. Yeah.
She's like, I'm not a weed. I'm a little girl. And they're so mean to her, though. I remember them being bitchy from when I was little, and I was like,
Yeah. And then, she stumbles into her next catastrophe, which is the caterpillar.
Well, what they do is pour water on her.
Right.
And make her potentially drown. This is a potential murder.
Yeah.
And then she sees the smoke poofs. which is I haven't seen this movie since I was little, so I always thought that like the caterpillar was a stoner,
Right.
but he's not really.
He's not really. No.
He's smoking from a hookah. And that's about it. And that's when you kind of realize, though, that she's dreaming about her lessons a little bit.
Right.
Because he's smoking all the vowels.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when I was like, oh, she's sleeping during her lesson.
Her lesson, yeah. And this is all, like...
This is all assumption.
But this is all also, like, 25 minutes into the movie, and there's all this crap that's going on. Like,
it's just all happens so fast.
Yeah.
It happens so fast.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of all the crazy nonsense shit that happens in a row.
A-E-I-O, Hugh.
Yeah, I know. It's just awful.
And he's just like trying to teach her to pronunciate, which is a little bit confusing if you think about it, because after the whole thing's done and when this happens, you kind of realize, yeah, she's sleeping during her lesson. But if someone's talking at her, how are they letting her sleep for that long?
I know.
I fell asleep on my desk in history class in grade 11, and Mr. Walker, you know who Mr. Walker is, came and slapped on my desk with his pointer stick and was like, "Wake up, Miss Mercier!" And I was like, I'm awake! Like,
man.
but that also makes me think she's just like rich and spoiled, because like her teacher can't say
really,
shit.
Yeah.
Can't say shit.
But yeah, so this caterpillar dude turns into a butterfly and flies away.
Well, yeah, he pisses her off, so she leaves, and then he's like, "Wait, come back!"
Yeah.
And then she comes back, and it's literally nothing. He asks her like one question, I forget what he even asked.
Yeah,
her. And then he turns into a butterfly.
And then when he's flying away, he says, "If you eat the mushroom, one half of it will make you grow, one half of it will make you smaller." So she fucks around with that for a second, and then takes some pieces with her, like, so she can control her size a little bit more.
That's the only thing she does that makes sense.
That's the only smart thing
she
does.
Well, that's what I mean, And she also just licks the one piece, because she gets way too big, and then she gets even smaller than she was.
Yep.
So then she's like, maybe if I just lick it, I'll be big, and then she's bigger than the grass again.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah. I know.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You're a genius.
So then she keeps stumbling through the freaking forest, and the next thing she comes across is the Cheshire Cat.
The Cheshire Cat.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, what's a Cheshire Cat? Because I never really thought of it before. Like, what does that name mean?
So what I was reading was that, like, Cheshire, like the region in England, is like a big, like, cheese manufacturing area.
That's what I read.
And it was very common for the cheesemakers to make cheese in the shape of cats. And traditionally, you would eat it from tail to front, leaving the cat's face, because the mold that they used had a smiling cat.
Hey, because you didn't tell me that.
But it is very disputed, and there's no actual definitive origins to
the Cheshire Cat.
To the phrase "smiling like a Cheshire Cat." Yeah.
Okay. Well.
But it did appear before through the Looking Glass.
Just when I Googled it, it said a crumbly cheese. So I'm like, this is a cheese cat. That's fucked.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
But that makes way more sense.
But it's still not like...
It's just like speculation.
There's no definitive answer as to why. But we didn't look it up, but I would bet a very little bit of money, but confidently, that the actor who voices the Cheshire Cat would be the same person who voices Caw from Jungle Book.
Oh my gosh, I was saying...
It's got to be the same, right?
I think they voice the same, and they're just like the same kind of character, where they're creepy and like in the tree and like in your head a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the Cheshire Cat, like, I don't think he's actually in the ending of the movie when he's supposed to show up there, like...
On the Queen?
On the Queen. I think he's just in her head, like, fucking with her, where Caw, like, does the hypnotism thing.
Right.
It's so funny when you, like, obviously we've seen all these when we were little, But when we're watching them and we're, like, reviewing them and writing notes, you notice, like, little bits of different Disney movies in all of them.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's the same person that voices Ka as well.
Yeah.
I even said while we were watching it, I was like, that reminds me of Ka. And then when you just said voice, I was like, the voice sounded the same too, but I didn't want to say that, and you'd be like, no.
Yeah, no, the voice sounds like identical. Yeah. So she fucks around with the Cheshire Cat for a little bit. Then, you know, Cheshire Cat fucks off and she keeps wandering through the forest.
And then she finds all these fucked up birds.
Or
no, the Mad Hatter's next.
Yeah, the Mad
Sorry.
Hatter, who's celebrating his unbirthday.
One
of his unbirthdays.
Okay, so I wrote down, unbirthday is a silver lining to those drama queens that are obsessed with their birthday.
Yeah.
Because they're, like, sitting there, like, so sad that their birthday's over, and they're like, it's my unbirthday the rest of the year, bitch. I feel like my sister would do that.
My parents would always get, like, whoever birthday it was, you know, they get cake and a bunch of presents and all that stuff. But our parents would always get, like, if it was my birthday, Dana would get one unbirthday gift.
Really?
Yeah, and on my birthday, or on his birthday, I'd get one little unbirthday gift. Just like a little thing.
No.
Yeah. It was just like, something that they did.
Well, my sister and I are, like, 11 days apart.
Yeah, we're 6 months apart.
Yeah, so I guess that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So you don't feel so sad about it.
Yeah.
But
especially because we always wanted, like, I always wanted to be able to throw, like, a summer birthday party for my friends. My brother always wanted to be able to have, like, a snowball fight with his friends on his birthday.
Well, you always
right?
want what you can't have.
Exactly.
100%. But, no, it's such a good point that they're like, well, when it's your birthday, you're so sad it's over, but every other day is your unbirthday.
Yeah.
They're geniuses for the birthday divas. I used to be a birthday diva. I'm a graduated birthday diva, and you know this. I'm way better about my birthday now.
Oh, yeah.
I would have used to use unbirthday. I would have been like,
it's
my half birthday!
Yeah.
It's my birthday! It's my birthday week! It's my birthday month!
And you've got written down here, Mad Hatter is a drunk, but no, Mad Hatter is just a Mad Hatter. Like, they used to use mercury to make hats.
Mercury?
Yeah. Like mercury.
You said mercury.
Whatever. They used to use mercury to make hats. And then the hatters, from, like, wearing and testing the hats and wearing, like, their own product, would, like, the mercury would leak into their brains and would drive them crazy. Yeah.
You're not supposed to eat sushi because there's mercury in the water.
Mercury in the fish.
Water.
Yeah.
Ah! But he just seems drunk.
Oh, he's just lost his mind. He's like
he's a Mad Hatter.
He's mad, right? Yeah. Probably undiagnosed something.
Or just drunk.
But he's mad. He's crazy.
He's mad.
Yeah.
You're mad, man. But yeah, she goes to this party, and they do say to her, they're kind of like, she goes in and just sits down in their backyard.
Right.
They're like, that's so rude of you to do, which is totally accurate.
Yep.
When they go to the party, but then they're like, oh, come in, we'll have a spot of tea.
Yeah. And then the rabbit comes running through saying he's late, and the Mad Hatter grabs his pocket watch that he's running around with and looks at it and says, wow, it's exactly 2 days late. It's like, and then just breaks the fuck out of it.
Mystery solved. And then he gives it back to him, and he's like, yep, just what I said. 2 days late.
But he'd put, like, jam and butter and honey and sugar and stuff in it.
He was at a tea party, babe.
Yeah.
It's just, that whole tea party seems very bizarre to me. So it's like, that scene, the random story Tweedledee and Tweedledum tell, and then the Queen of Hearts are like the three main things in the movie, which is really crazy to me too because of the Cheshire Cat, because he's such a big, like, loved character.
I know, yeah.
And he's barely in it.
He's in there. He's on screen for like 5 minutes total.
I mean, it's a short movie.
Yeah, it's only like
it's an hour and 20
minutes or something. Yeah. Is
that an hour and 10? Or I'm not good at math.
It's an hour and 18 minutes long.
That's what I meant to say, but I said an hour and 70, and I really hoped you didn't hear me say that.
Anyway, Alice keeps going. You know,
She
keeps
just
trucking
checks on because the rabbit leaves, obviously, because he's late.
Because he's late, yeah.
And the whole time, I'm trying to remember what's he late for, and then you find out very shortly what he's late for.
Yeah, he's the trumpet player for the queen.
So she goes into the forest, like all Disney
princessy. Is that what you were gonna say?
I just put Disney princess into one word. I said princey. Disney princesses do, and there's all these fucking weird birds. Like there's a trumpet bird, an umbrella bird. There's an owl that's a accordion.
Yep.
And all these things, and they're all just watching her bitch about being lost. And she's going the wrong way, and all the signs are pointing her the wrong. Like it's just fucked.
Yep.
It's not even entertaining.
No, it's just confusing.
Nonsense.
It's just confusing. Yeah.
So they're all watching her, and then all of a sudden they all disappear, and the Cheshire cat comes back, the cheese cat.
Right.
And says it's the Queen's way or the highway.
Right.
Which again, I feel like this movie is about my sister. And that reminds me of Abby, where it's Queen's way or the highway.
Yeah.
And I know Abby doesn't listen, so good luck with that. But she's like, what are you talking about, a queen? I haven't seen a queen.
Right.
They don't mention her.
Yeah,
it would be one thing if, like, at the very beginning, they're like, "Oh, the queen is this" or whatever. But it's just all of a sudden, and then it's, "Oh, we're at the palace."
Yeah, and then she gets to the palace and she sees like the ace, 2, and 3 of clubs painting the white roses red for the queen.
Painting the roses red.
Yeah.
Painting the roses red.
Yeah.
Because we don't want her to chop off her head.
Yeah. And then all the cards come in, and the queen comes through behind them, and she's a real bitch. And
she's just this really scary big lady, and then her husband's this tiny little guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Story of our lives, but you're not tiny.
No. But the queen's a real Karen. She's just total.
Queen is such a Karen.
She would want to talk to all the managers ever.
She comes in and she yells at. They made a mistake by planting white roses, but is that even a thing? I think you have to dye roses to be white. Don't you?
Oh, I think white roses grow.
Do they grow? Because I know they have to dye like a lot of the colors of roses that come.
Do they? Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a horticulturalist.
Well, yeah, we're not into flowers. I could be totally wrong, so please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not saying I'm right.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like, can they even make white roses?
Yeah.
And then they're trying to fix it for her.
Yeah, they try to make it right.
And Alice is also just like so down to like just paint with these random card dudes that
who totally get
met.
killed. The ace, 2, and 3, they get their heads chopped off.
Yeah, and another thing is, when they're painting, they make such a huge mess.
Oh, such a mess.
But then when they look behind them, there's just grass.
Yeah,
they're like slopping paint everywhere.
Yeah, like the grass is half paint, and then they turn around after 2 seconds and it's gone.
It's green again. If that was the deal, no one would have drop sheets while they were painting. Yeah. Which would be great.
Yeah.
But, these guys all get sentenced to get their head chopped off because the queen comes in and realizes that painting the rose is red.
Yeah. And then the queen asks, challenges Alice to a game of croquet. And they start playing, and then...
I fucking love croquet.
Yeah, I like croquet too. Yeah, it's a
fun game. I feel like it's underrated.
Yeah.
It's just a side
note. And then Cheshire Cat shows up again and starts fucking with the queen.
But also, like, the cards are like the things that you have to score through, and there's little gerbils that are the balls, and flamingos are the
mallets.
The mallets. So everything moves around for the queen.
Yeah.
Everything moves because they don't want to see her freak out. They're like, we can't deal with this crazy ass bitch.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna move around and make her happy.
Yeah, yeah.
We've all dealt with that in our life.
Sure have.
I was like, I relate, Alice. And then Alice's mallet gives her a hard time, and the Cheshire. Sorry, I did interrupt you, but the Cheshire Cat comes in.
Yeah, and he's just fucking with them.
He just starts climbing all over the queen and like fucking with her, and is basically trying to get Alice killed.
Pretty much. So what does Alice do to the queen to make the queen stay cut off her head? You remember?
It's not Alice. It's the Cheshire Cat. She points at something, and then the queen looks this way, and then like the Cheshire Cat like pulls up her skirt.
Oh, right. Pulls up her skirt with the flamingo and stuff, and kind of
fucks her over, and
makes her flop on her face.
Alice is also nowhere near the queen.
Yeah,
and then she just turns
around. The queen
around.
thinks it was her and says, "Off with her head," and the king convinces the queen that they should hold a trial for her.
Which is so, like, where was the trial for all the other cars?
I know, right?
Is the king some sort of creep?
Yeah.
Probably. It's a Disney movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, let's be real here.
Yeah.
But, like, that was my first thought was, like, but we've seen, like, 5 cards get their head chopped off for no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, he does say, like, oh, it's a little girl. Like, she's only 7.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, so then during the trial, the Cheshire Cat shows up again and keeps fucking with the queen. And this whole thing is just a fucking mess. Alice eats one of the pieces of mushroom and grows huge.
And then all of a sudden, so she starts like yelling at the queen because they're all scared of her, obviously, because she's a giant.
Yeah.
And then she just all of a sudden starts drinking. She doesn't even drink or eat anything else.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense. If she had just waited instead of panicking the rest of the movie.
I think she eats both of the pieces of mushroom at the same time. So she gets huge, and then she shrinks after.
Did I miss that?
I think she puts them both in her mouth at the same time. So, like, one takes effect before the other. They don't, like, counterbalance each other.
Because I was just like, in what world did she eat something, and then all of a sudden, she, like, as if she had just been patient the rest of the movie, she would have shrunk down to size or whatever would have happened.
Yeah. No.
This fucking movie doesn't make sense, man.
Yeah, but she loses the trial and gets chased out of Wonderland, and it just ends with her waking up.
But, like, also she gets chased out of Wonderland, and it's all of the characters chasing her out. She sees them all on her way out, and then all of a sudden she's just on the other side of the door. She looks out, she sees herself sleeping, and then she's there.
And then she
wakes up, and the girl's like, "Are you paying attention?"
Yeah, it's like, obviously she's not.
There's one cool thing that I thought about, though, like, while we were chatting right now.
What's that?
Is that I learned when I was a lot younger that dreams are actually only, like, 5 minutes long.
Yeah, I knew that, yeah.
So she's probably only sleeping for about 5 minutes and just having a super vivid dream.
Yeah, just, like, in deep sleep for, like, 5 minutes.
Because, like, think about it, you have, like, probably hundreds of dreams while you're sleeping. Well, you have hundreds of dreams while you're sleeping, and you only remember, like, 1, maybe 2 of your dreams, because they're all only 5 minutes, even though they seem like they're the entire night.
Yeah.
So, long story short, this movie was bullshit, but it makes sense in the end.
Yeah, no, but it is just a total dumpster fire.
It's a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I would say it's bad.
It's bad.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys are on the TikTok trend, but I wrote down the GARBITCH because it's garbage. This movie's garbage.
Yeah, we decided we'd give it a 3 out of 10 for a rating.
Because it is... There's some stuff... Like, I don't even know why we gave it a 3.
But there's no, any jokes that still, like, hold up. I don't know. Like,
the like, visuals are good. We'll give it that.
It's very visually impressive for being from the 50s. I'll give it that.
We'll give it that. So Lucas always... one thing we want to actually say is we usually do MVP and we usually do best song. We didn't even vote on that this time because this movie was just shit. Like,
yeah, there's no real good MVP candidates, and there's each song is like 35 seconds long. There's no real good like full-on songs.
And I also feel like anything lower than a 5 out of 10 doesn't deserve those ratings.
Yeah. But for what I'd like to see more and less of, I'd say more of like an actual structured storyline where we kind of know where things might end, or kind of have some idea of who the bad guy is, what, like, where the rabbit's going, why he's got to be there, something a little bit more of a structured story.
And this is all based on like the original one too, because I think in the newer one it is a little more structured.
Yeah, this is just based off the book.
The 1951
is based off of the book. Mm-hmm. Less of Tweedledee and Tweedledum. That was like 8 minutes I'll never get back, and it was rough.
And then I did decide to do Marry, Fuck, Kill, and I actually usually like think about this when I write it down, but I didn't really think about it, so let's just go for it. Marry, Fuck, Kill, Cheshire Cat, Mad Hatter, and King of Hearts. I would probably fuck the Mad Hatter, kill the Cheshire Cat, and marry the King of Hearts.
Yeah, that's the right answer for sure.
Because the Cheshire Cat's annoying as fuck and fucks with you, so you gotta kill him off.
Yeah, you just gotta kill him. Like, fuck that guy.
The Mad Hatter is drunk and crazy, so just have sex with him and be done with it.
Yep.
And the King of Hearts is like up the Queen of Hearts' ass.
Yeah.
So fucking marry him.
And like, doesn't seem to be as much of a hothead, right?
No,
like,
he's just like a cute little sweetie.
Yeah. So I think that's definitely the right.
You concur?
Yeah. I will say this: if you haven't seen it before, you don't need to.
We marked it as a do not watch.
Yeah, no, this will probably be the last time I ever watch this movie.
I don't even want to show our unborn children this.
No, they can skip this one for sure.
Maybe the newer one they can watch.
Yeah,
this one's bullshit.
I guess
it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's not good, not great, not even a little bit okay. So that's it for this week's episode of Drinking with Disney. It was so fun.
It's always a pleasure. It's
always great.
And it's always fun to watch movies we watched when we were little.
Yeah, it's always good for that nostalgia value to go and see, like, rewatch these things and see it through a different lens, right?
And we have been watching everything on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch any of this shit anywhere, download Disney Plus.
Yeah,
it's only $10 a month.
Yeah, it's not bad. But thanks for tuning in and listening. As always, catch us next time for another episode. Check out our past episodes in our podcast feed and YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends.
Wear a mask.
Yeah, wear a mask and keep your distance. And don't be an idiot. Don't go to any of these stupid secret parties that you're hearing about in Toronto. Or don't go to...
just don't be stupid.
Just don't be an idiot, Stay within your bubble. Wear a mask.
There's lots of different Disney movie drinking games that you can play.
Wear a mask and stay the hell home if you're fucking sick.
Stay safe.
And stay safe, and we will see you again soon.